Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to this week's episode of AJ Preller's Runner Going. This week on the show, we've got two guests. We've got Cannonball Dickerson, and we have got Caleb Athens. So let's get started on this week's AJ Preller's Runner Going. After a bit of a hiatus, we are finally back in the studio. We've got two guests. They're both Padres. Deal with it. One, we've got the of the Balloon Mumbai fame, Cannonball Dickerson.
Mr. Mumbai himself. How's it going?
Mr. Mumbai himself. And of OOTP and the Caleb Compound fame, we've got Caleb Athen.
Hey, you know what? I don't care if there's favoritism. Padres are the best.
Fucking, the first thing I say is your name, and then you just hear a crash from your microphone. And I'm just like,
no, that was actually my dog shaking off falling asleep.
Awesome. So, right off the bat, Caleb, you want to explain why your player's named like it is?
Caleb, the name Caleb Athen came from a fictional league of Out of the Park baseball, where I drafted him in the inaugural draft at age 38. Jesus. And the damn man carried my team, leading the team in home run until he was 44.
Damn.
And we won several championships under his banner. So I anytime I make a new file of Out of the Park, I always change one player's name to Caleb Athen in his memory.
Out of the Park, for the gentle listener who doesn't know what that is a baseball simulation game without any fun.
This is correct.
Confirmed. And then, Cannonball, since I asked him, how'd you get your name?
Good question. I Googled just historic baseball player names, and then I kind of pick and chose a few different ones. So, Cannonball Titcomb was the name for, well, that's how I got the Cannonball part, and then Babe Dickerson.
Really?
Babe Didrikson. I think there was another Dickerson.
There's like 7 Dickersons playing the game right now.
Is there really?
There's Alex, there's Corey, there's a few other ones that I'm sure they'll make comments on Reddit for. There's like 3 different dudes named Dickerson, and they all play for different teams.
Well, clearly
it's an old-timey baseball name for sure.
One of them's on the Padres, but he's on the 60-day.
Okay.
Yeah, he's getting TJ, unfortunately. TJ, for the gentle listener, is Tommy John surgery. Don't look it up. You don't want to watch what that is. Like, seriously.
Just know that it's awful, and just about every player on the Mets starting rotation has had it now.
Oh, yeah, so I feel like that actually leads into one of the questions I always have to ask. Cannonball, what team do you follow in real life?
Oh, in real life, I'm a huge Cubs fan. So I'm like one of the few players, well, I don't know. It seems like it. I'm one of the few Canadians that's not a diehard Blue Jays fan. But no, I'm a Cubbies fan.
But if they put the Expos back where they were, would you be an Expos fan or would you still be a Cubs fan?
I would still be a Cubs fan. I'd definitely be more inclined to follow Canadian baseball. But no, still be a Cubs fan for sure. And
then Caleb, go ahead.
I'm a Mets fan. I grew up in a house of 7 people, 5 of which were Yankee fans.
Jesus.
I ended up becoming a Mets fan when I was like 9 years old, and my dad kept getting free Mets tickets from work, and because I was the only Mets fan, I got to go to all of them.
That's a pretty good reason. It
has ruined my life. Don't become a Mets fan.
I mean, you got a new trainer now, right? How long is he gonna last? 3 months?
I'll give him a year before I start judging, and then I will judge intently after a year.
Well, I think if he can keep DeGrom healthy for 6 weeks, he's a success.
This is true.
And, so Caleb, essentially, you're like how some people put mustard on their fries just because most people don't like mustard on fries.
No, it was actually good because growing up I got to spend a lot more time with my dad and it was helpful through a parent's divorce and a bunch of personal stuff I shouldn't get into here.
And I won't ask you to, because on this show we're here to say stupid shit and then drink on mic like I just did.
We're here to say stupid shit?
Oh yeah, we're here to say all sorts of stupid shit.
The Yankees are the best team of all time.
All right,
okay,
get
that's
out.
stupid shit.
All right, this is over. End episode. Cut. But, no, first off, I'm sure we could find a better team. Like, well, shit, I can't say the Dodgers are better because the Dodgers haven't won a World Series either.
I also hate the Dodgers.
Well, I think everybody who's not a Dodgers fan hates the Dodgers. Like, everybody. Like, you need to hate the Dodgers.
I didn't mind the Dodgers until I just kind of left them alone. And then 2015 Chase Utley happened.
Oh, that shit was garbage.
Yeah, so, and ever since then.
Well, Dickerson knows that I hate Rizzo with a burning fucking passion.
And I can't imagine why.
He slid into our catcher.
He's such a stand-up guy.
He's such a sleaze bag. He's such a sleaze bag.
There was like 50-50. I think there's equal blame to go around in that play in retrospect.
No, there wasn't.
Preller, wouldn't you? Doesn't time heal all wounds?
No. Legit, I still hate...
An insight into the Padres clubhouse is me delighting in sending you Cub stuff, particularly like that clip or just Rizzo in general.
No,
it's one of my great pleasures in life.
And the insight into the Padres dugout is you making random-ass jokes about who I could be and fucking photoshopping these things.
My newest, I'm really proud of
the Preller Palmer one is good.
The Preller Palmer is like my new favorite thing.
So, Caleb, do you have anything you'd like to discuss at all?
Oh, geez, you put me on the spot, huh?
Yep.
Can we discuss how the Mets are 37-12 on opening day in the past 39 years and yet still
Wait.
only won one World Series in that time?
Do you want to say that number again? Because you just said you're 37-12 in the past 39 years.
Since 1970. I just woke up. I'm tired.
Caleb, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice. If you don't get that,
indeed.
You just said 37 and then 12 and then said 39. Assumably you mean 27 and 12.
No, it's 37-12 since 1970. It's
okay.
A wrong number of years.
That makes more sense.
So in the last 49 years, they're 37. Okay, or 59 years, or whatever the hell the number is.
Yeah, see, you can't do math either.
This is your fault.
All I know is I go into opening day thinking we have a 141 2/3% chance of winning.
At Sacrifice.
At Sacrifice.
Thank you. Caleb, Cannonball, do you get that joke?
I have no idea.
We're
I will link the video to you
referencing a wrestling joke that we will link to you later.
I'm learning so much of wrestling now just from being on the Padres. It's been pretty sweet.
Yeah, you got CJ. You got CJ, you got Caleb, you got me. So yeah, you learned plenty of wrestling. Good. The only reason I threw to you, Caleb, is because the next topic's going to be like a 10-minute topic. Because I feel that we have to immediately acknowledge the balloon from S1.
You know,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I saw the video on that because I think Cannonball linked it to me in Discord.
I think I sent you to go see it.
And I lost my shit for like 10 minutes over that.
Speaking of...
Well, it's the weirdest thing because like in the Discord, like my name is listed as the Balloon Idiot.
Of course.
And so then if you... Which, I mean, fair enough. I suppose I deserve. But if you're new to the team, there's just some random guy who you have no idea, don't know what the backstory is. If you're new to MLR, I should say. Just randomly a balloon idiot. Like I'm a balloon fetishist or aficionado or some sort of like weird thing. They have no idea what the background is at all.
Well, quite frankly, it's one of those things where even I've been cagey about it just because it's bringing up stupid shit that nobody really dislikes. But it's one of those things that kind of clearly we've both moved past by this point.
100%. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like definitely just a stupid sort of confusion, and I think a matter of like taking things way too seriously that weren't serious. And
Corbett.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you say something?
And so what better way to deal with interpersonal rivalries than than killing off your character or flying away in a balloon, which is what I would choose to do at work if given the option. I would try to escape my problems via hot air balloon, but I've yet to find one.
So, segue, by the way, this is going to be a 10 out of 10 Preller segue, talking about interpersonal rivalries. The rivalry since fucking session, 3. That legitimately you went out of your way to make for no reason.
100%. Well, not for no reason.
Well,
but he did he did nothing to bring it on. But yeah, I definitely went out of my way. So do you want to tease a little bit more, or do you want to just come out and mention what you're talking about?
If you don't know, you're living under a rock with headphones on, because by this point, he's made it into such a goddamn event that we have to talk about the Dickerson-Gerzone rivalry.
Look, Dickerson didn't go out of his way to start that. If
The hell he
Gerzone
didn't.
would have if Gerzone would not have shit-talked Saskatchewan, we wouldn't have had a problem.
But that's the thing, though, is so, and I'm totally guilty of this. If you watch that YouTube video where I've kind of
has
picked
that been
and
put out?
choose a little bit, cherry picked the links.
Has that been put out?
Sorry, pardon me?
Has that video been put out?
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
That video's put out. It's been out for a little bit now, I think.
Yeah, we'll probably get it reposted a couple times in the next coming days.
For sure. So Fairbanks has got a link out, and then I've seen it. I think it got retweeted a couple times for sure. So no, it's definitely out. But I mean, if you look at that video, it's definitely there's definitely been some cherry pick quotes in terms of it looks like it was all started with Gerzone in sort of the first picture is the bar and he's the bad guy, and then it starts with him just slighting Saskatchewan. But it totally wasn't. It was just me randomly starting it. A, because I think he's a genuinely funny guy on Twitter, but then B, he made a comment about Miller Lite being this fantastic Pilsner type beer, and I said it was an offense against Saskatchewan's Pilsner beer, and that's that tweet is what started off the rivalry. Was just that it was a lack of recognition or a lack of giving props to Saskatchewan, and then from there the feud began.
So as I've said before, we have a betting pool of whether or not I bench you for the game, just for the lulz.
I would be furious.
I mean, I know you'd be furious, but there's utterly nothing you could do about it.
Well, I mean, I fly away in a balloon.
You could, which is why I probably won't bench you. I mean, those are pretty good payouts if I do, though.
Is that maybe we can split the pool then.
I feel like that's a little bit of tampering, Aaron Judge.
I don't even know if Gerzone's going to be pitching though.
He's going to be pitching. He's the only pitcher on their team.
Is he really? I haven't looked at.
They have a second pitcher, but he's only pitched an inning, and Master Cashier knows about this rivalry and isn't going to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's hoping then.
Greatest sense of blue balls ever.
Yeah. Right. We'll have to wait until next year.
The rivalry feud continues.
The worst part is you picked a fight with one of the better pitchers in the league.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And the other thing, too, is not only did I pick a fight with one of the better pitchers, an all-around decent guy who's well-respected. So suddenly I'm the biggest heel in MLR. I think it's pretty much a one-sided feud. There's a lot of pro-Gerzone out there from what I've seen.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, that's because a lot of those pro-Gerzone are anti-Preller. It's got nothing to do with you.
Fair enough. But I did go out and call him the poor man's Darth Vader, which that was the most recent thing, and I'm pretty pleased with.
That's a good one.
See, this is why I pick a fight with terrible pitchers like Daniel Collins.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, do you want to get into that?
We can definitely get into that. Because we've also, our upcoming promotions at Petco Park for the fake San Diego Padres include the 1969 expansion team rivalry between the San Diego Padres and the Montreal Expos. Yes, that is a real-world thing. They were both the same. They were expansion teams in the same year. That is
Sorry, cut out. Who is it?
The 1969 expansion team rivalry.
Yeah, but who are the two teams?
Us and the Expos.
Oh, okay, right.
And that is like session 12. We'd have that session 12. There's not really a rivalry there. It's just like a, hey, look, there's a stat. We're in Texas. We're at Texas in session 10. The Nationals are in town session 11. Blanking on where our name is. Oh yeah, then we go to Minnesota session 13, and that's where we can continue with the Collins thing.
Nice.
Go ahead, Caleb.
It's still a few sessions away, but I eagerly look forward to it. The man thinks he's, God's gift to pitching, and he's nothing special. He gave up how many home runs to the Blue Jays?
At least 2.
Pretty sure it was like 3 or 4.
All right, we gotta check it. Fucking make that graphic eventually, Preller. The graphic of on-camera Googling. Twins.
The subreddit up. Where is it?
Twins. Toronto Blue Jays at Minnesota Twins.
3 home runs in the 3rd inning. By the 3rd inning, I should say.
Correct. And he pitched 4. So, but it didn't matter. So, yeah, he gave up 3 home runs. That's the bottom line there. That's a lot of home runs.
And then he comes on Twitter
That's a lot of
and
damage.
tells me to accomplish something before I talk shit. No, sir.
I mean, you gotta hit and multiple people still don't.
100%. I was 0 for 8 for the longest time.
As I said before, I've discovered my gift for how I get players to be successful. Which
Make them ride the pine.
pretty much bench them for a couple sessions, and suddenly they break out.
Yeah, it seems to pay off.
I mean,
But I didn't even make player of the game. That's ridiculous.
We lost.
I mean, yeah, we lost.
But come on,
We
3
lost.
for 3 grand slam. You don't have to be on the winning team to get player of the game.
That's inherently how it works in this league.
That's fair, but
Really?
Yep.
That's correct.
As somebody
All right,
who
but I'll go
umpired
with
a
it.
game, that's why I think that umpires, if they want to, should be able to use the 3-star scales,
Yeah, I was gonna say we should absolutely do the.
where there's 3
Hockey 3-star.
players, but the top one that you label. I gave the player of the game to that one guy for the Brew Crew because Gearzone gave up 2 homers and 2 runs at the end of the game, and that's not a Gearzone start because he would have had the complete game shutout otherwise. That's James Earl Pones, right? Shout out to James Earl Pones. But then I gave the second place to Chad Barrett of the Nationals because he hit a home run off Gearzone. That's a thing. And then the third
which is
guy was
amazingly
Gearzone.
impressive.
And the third one was Gearzone, but I gave it to Pones. That's how this tends to go.
Fair enough. Well, I'm all in favor of Gazom getting screwed over. So whatever your rationale is, I'll support it.
Yep, especially, I think even Caleb pointed this out when I finished writing down stuff from my own personal game log. Next to that home run is just a suck at Gearzone.
I was looking at that
Perfect.
while I was at work, and I just burst out laughing in my chair.
Yep, that's pretty much
That's
how it
awesome.
works here.
If I worked with anyone that was not my wife, I probably would have gotten yelled at.
I'm surprised you didn't get yelled at anyways.
No, she just knows she knows how the fake baseball goes.
Well, oh right, you talked about that. It's kind of weird. Well, she thinks it's weird.
Yeah, I haven't even tried. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I've definitely tried explaining to my wife, and it's just some eye rolls, and that's pretty much it. And then I learned to just keep it to myself, or she'll call it nerdy fake baseball stuff.
Oh yeah, most people call it nerdy fake baseball. I mean, that's just how it is.
It's a given.
Oh yeah. Sorry, this is when I got a little sidetracked and started reading my fantasy baseball stuff. So yeah, deal with that, chat. So I need to answer some shit real quick. We have a certain host of a certain show that needs to be reminded. You're not a GM, bud. You play the outfield. So get back in your little field and shut your mouth and let your GM do what he wants to do. All right? Thanks. It's not my team. He knows who he is. That is all. Back to what we were talking about.
I wonder who you're talking about. Gosh.
I hope he knows. I'm glad he knows. Good. Deal with it. Stay in your lane. It's not actually Lane Drew. Please don't think it's Lane Drew. I realize that could be assumed.
Yeah, it's Monster.
No, it's not Monster. What the hell you on about? Monster, I'm convinced, is high as shit always.
From what I've seen the Out of the Park Discord of him, I would believe you.
So, that's not me bashing Monster. That's just legit. He just seems like he's high on life constantly.
Monster would get the award for biggest troll in the Out of the Park Discord if there was not a person who went out of their way to post pictures of David Price every day.
Oh, that chat's the best.
That chat is the best.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent. We've got somebody else drinking on camera. Excellent. Good stuff.
How does Out of the Park compare to fake baseball in terms of just overall nerdiness?
I would say Out of the Park baseball is more generally accepted as,
Nerd.
Okay, you're just hardcore into baseball, while fake baseball is like, wow.
No, fake baseball is like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, honestly. What is wrong with us? Why do we do this?
Because it's fun.
Yeah, it's true. Shit, I have to make a lineup card. Oh no.
Yeah, you should go.
I always forget that, and I always get to that point, right before the next session, where I'm like, wait a second, lineup card. Shit.
The last minute scramble.
I play fake
This isn't last
baseball.
minute.
I play fake baseball because my life is clearly not interesting enough, and it's nice to have several heart attacks in the sixth inning.
Several? Dude, I was watching the goddamn actual Padres game today, and having actual heart attacks. Just sitting there. Sitting in my own house, watching the ninth inning, watching Freddie Galvis, who apparently does, nothing ever for the Phillies, hit, a freaking RBI single. Shout out to Chase Anderson, the Brew Crew starter. That fucking curveball. I swear, man. Go away. We don't want to see you around here anymore. That was really weird.
I explained it in the Discord before of, the Mets went into the ninth with a 9-4 lead, and I still didn't feel safe. That goes all the way back to the days of Armando Benitez.
Oh, that's like how the Twins are never safe because their closer's Fernando Rodney. Sorry.
It's like unless they get a 1-2-3 inning, as soon as that first person reaches base, you're just like, oh boy, here we go.
Here it goes. Now you're Padres-ing.
Yeah, now I'm a side Padres fan.
Oh yeah, well you kind of have to be. You're on this team.
Correct. I was actually looking for a third team to watch this year because I watched the Mets and the Red Sox. I wanted to follow a new team and such, and I actually rolled randomly on a wheel and ended up with the Arizona Diamondbacks.
The D-bags.
Who my best friend likes.
So
and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be watching the Diamondbacks this year. And then last week, I'm like, yeah, don't feel betrayed, but I'm a Padres fan now.
The dads. It's the dads. I'm making fun of the Mets song.
He threatened to become a Nationals fan because he's on the Expos and MLR. And I'm like, don't you dare.
The Nationals are
have their
a
own
team.
MLR team.
Yeah, really, dude. Also, that's going to be an awkward game, in a couple of weeks. When the Nationals play the Expos. A game that shouldn't ever be possible currently. Actually, it's next week. The next session is Washington at Montreal. Yeesh.
I feel bad for Montreal.
I don't. They're doing better than we are. Like, aren't they? They are, right? They are, right?
I don't know. I'm just checking.
5-2. Yeah, they're doing better than we are.
Yeah.
Fucking Sheena, just fucking Dave Roberts his way into this game. Got put, like, as I said before, Dave Roberts could have been a fucking blow-up doll and still won the NL West. That team was going to autopilot itself, really.
I mean, when I was a free agent, China, he
Sheena.
promised me that the Expos would be first place, and I could be part of a winning team. And I said, "No, I'll go to the Dads instead."
Mistakes were made. Like,
I mean, I
not
don't
even
regret
gonna
it.
lie.
I like the people that I talk to in the Dads Discord on a daily basis.
That's right. We're real people. Don't forget that shit. Like,
What was the process like, Caleb, being a free agent? Like, did you have a ton of GMs actually reaching out to you?
I was reached out to by I think 5 people total, but the only people I really had serious conversations with, like deep conversations with, were China and Preller.
I sent you a
And-
paragraph.
If you had talked to me at about 6 o'clock that night, I was 100% sure I was going to the Expos, and then Preller sweet talked me over here.
I sent him a paragraph.
And
Like-
what was it?
It was just this paragraph of promises I could probably uphold.
Okay.
Plus, I got him to tell me what the other guy was offering, so I offered a little better. Like, seriously. Don't bid.
So can you get...
Don't bid first. That's all.
He did guess the
Don't
wrong
bid first.
team, though.
I did guess the wrong team. Well, because the layout that they promised sounded a lot like the other team. Like, that's the only reason. Tampa has the same rotation that they do. Shout out to Tampa, by the way. I don't actually know if they won their game or not, but shout out to them anyways. Also, shout out to whoever came up with the taking the win out of Twins on the Blue Jays, because that's really fucking funny.
That was clever.
It only worked because you actually ended up winning the game. Like, oh, they did it. They said they were going to do it, and they did it. So it's pretty incredible. Also, shout out to any other teams that don't get noticed that much, like the Mariners. Yeah, that's right. The Mariners are in this league.
Tampa ended up losing, by the way.
Okay,
2-1.
well, rip. Blue Jays, you do you, bud. Rangers,
I think the Blue Jays
I
are
don't
my favorite team, like on Twitter.
know. Oh, their Twitter is outmatched. It's not outmatched. Like,
Yeah, like they're amazing.
that media manager dude. I don't actually know who it is, which bothers me only a little. But like, actually, I strive to be as efficient as them, but I also strive to not have 2 Discord accounts.
Fair enough.
So
I
like,
have to say, I like the Blue Jays simply for the fact that their logo is now the Cardinals logo. Just
oh yeah,
It's perfect for them.
their media manager just does random shit all the time.
like that takes balls.
Yeah, until you get a nice cease and desist from a real baseball team.
We're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about. Well, nobody's gotten a cease and desist from a real baseball team, so it's not a problem yet. It's the Mets.
So I'm going through the Blue Jays. The problem that I have is that I'm so much more like up into the last 2 games. I've been so much more active on social media than I actually have been like in Discord or just in the actual game itself. That I know guys on the Blue Jays as I'm looking at the team who are amazing, and I've Milo is my favorite person on Twitter, and or for the Blue Jays for sure, and definitely like top 5 in general. And I have no idea if he's any good as a catcher or not.
Milo's a good
Like,
dude. He's batting 250.
Is he? Okay, well that's not bad.
No,
But
no
I
dingers.
like no idea. Other than I think he's like funny. I have no idea how he was doing as a catcher.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is for some people, but I always harangue that Juan Diego is not that good of a player, and then I actually look at their stats, and somehow they're really good. Like, right now they're batting .444 with 2 home runs and a double, but I constantly talk about them and make Joe X. Like, I'm sure there could some people that I could find, like, no, not them. Fuck, I hate when I do this. Put myself on the spot. Just go to the fucking. Oh yeah, let me make the low-hanging fruit alert. Fucking Hudson Quinn, the pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies. Talking most active dude, like one of the most active dudes. 4.3 ERA over 12 innings. Yeah, dude, good luck with that. 2 losses, good stuff. Shout out to Oakland, just because they exist.
Did I miss seeing where Hans Ali signed with? Because I saw that was going around.
Tigers.
Oh, did you really?
Yep.
Signed with the Tigers?
Yep.
Shout out to Hans Ali for being a fucking legend.
Well, he's a legend because he disappeared. Now that he's back, the whole joke is dead.
That's true.
And
I've yet to, has he even said a full sentence yet, other than just
so.
K or okay?
Yeah.
He messaged me.
Okay.
He was looking for a job. He didn't use any punctuation, but he messaged me. That's okay.
That's okay.
Whatever. No, who's overrated is Cal Tiberius. Shout out to Juan Diego, by the way. Cal Tiberius.
Oh no, I have no idea about hands. I'm just saying punctuation in messages is overrated.
Oh, I know. No, the overrated thing is because it's a running gag at this point that Cal Tiberius is overrated. So we need to talk about some sandwiches and what kind of meat we put on sandwiches. What kind of meat do you put on sandwiches, Caleb?
That's a random question.
It's a segue.
As far as...
Answer the question.
Usually most sandwiches I'll put ham or turkey on.
Cannonball?
I'm roast beef, probably. I don't know. I mean, I don't have bread or dairy, so I'm not a huge sandwich guy, but roast beef, maybe pastrami or something like that, like a smoked meat.
So you're saying you don't like salamis? There's the segue.
I love salamis. That's a fantastic segue.
The segue into the grand salami.
That's well done.
It's
Oh, my head.
I can't tell if that was a comment based on my shitty joke or just that he hurt himself. Could be both. Not gonna lie, could be both.
Yeah, it was pretty painful in terms of the least subtle segues I've ever heard. But I'll take it if it allows me to talk about myself. Then you know what, I'm a fan.
If it wasn't about your segue, I would not have pushed to talk it.
Okay, good to know. So my segue has to do with the fact that you did hit a grand slam, which hopefully helped a little with the doubters.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The fact that it was a grand slam is fantastic. It was good, but getting the intentional walk before me and then having the grand slam.
Oh yeah, that's the icing on the cake.
Exactly right. I mean, it's one of those things where you're batting 125. I 1 for 9. I'm looking. I totally get it, and I would have done the same thing. But yeah, the fact that you get someone intentionally walked and then bases loaded, and to come up with a home run after that it's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, it's a good feeling, I'm sure. And why wouldn't it be? It's a good day. We actually have some pretty solid bats on the roster, and then we have some not solid bats on the roster.
Forehead Jones for All-Star game.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not taking that advertisement off of my my thumbnail anymore. That's staying there until the All-Star game.
But so does his game, what do you think? Does the game factor in? His last one against Arizona?
I think at this point, if it's not a done deal, I'm not sure what else is going to do it.
Yeah.
Mainly
I mean, I know
because he
some
was leading
people were
votes.
holding off votes till session 8 ended, but
Well, I am too, but that's just because it wasn't so much, I'm voting for Forehead. That would be really stupid of me not to. Did I?
oh,
No?
it would be the greatest heel move ever of just advertising for him and then not voting.
Clock him with a chair.
The architect.
The architect! Preller the architect. I'm sorry, Cannonball. This is like me and Caleb
No,
just
it's all good.
bouncing off of each other with wrestling shit. It's the mess. Shit, now that's in my head. I blame urinating tree.
So I've been going through a list there. Yeah, like this is surprisingly decent. I had no idea that Rambo was still doing that well.
Oh yeah, Rambo just walks a shit ton.
Yeah, that's
Like,
awesome.
all the time. But then again, Forehead also has 4 walks.
But Rambo's still batting over 300.
Oh yeah, Rambo's batting over
forgot that
300. Joe is still batting over 400. Kaylee could use a start. I gotta actually remember who I need to actually start. CJ is getting Alistair needs to get some more hits in. Your average will go up quite a bit. Midoriya,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with him. Golly and Dong are problems. And Catfish is delightfully average, which isn't an insult to him. It's actually quite nice.
You hear this, Milwaukee? We're doing all your scouting for you. Oh, well.
Legit, this is just me opening our team page. You think that we don't have better scouting on ourselves? Then you'd be right. But no, you listen to me basically starting to break down who do I actually need to start coming up. I usually open a Google Doc and just start bouncing names around, and eventually I come up with 9 and then 5 or so. It's called Preller Magic for a reason.
There you go. The Preller bomber himself.
God damn it.
3 buses to get to the public library where he enters in his lineup.
Public library. You said it's a coffee shop. Don't start changing your backstory.
Oh, yeah, well, it's not
do
published
the
yet. It's still malleable.
I mean, at least you didn't ask me to put a freaking lake in center field.
I didn't ask for it in center field.
Yes, you
lake
did.
of reincarnation needs to be somewhere in the stadium. I suggested it go to center field after you said we had no room to it due to a fucking Waffle House.
We needed that Waffle House.
The Whataburger, kudos to whoever said we needed the Whataburger. The Waffle House is questionable.
The Whataburger goes in next week. We're getting a Whataburger. Like, that's a thing that's happening. You cannot stop me. If this is my team, I will put the shit that I want in my ballpark.
You know with Waffle House?
No, that was actually it's league mandated. Every team has a Waffle House.
Over IHOP?
Yes. Waffle House is way seedier. It's way more fun. Waffle House is the backwoods Denny's. Like, Denny's is too good for this. See, anybody who knows, like, all 3 of those restaurants understands the joke right now.
I have never actually been to a Waffle House despite living within close proximity of one because I've only heard bad things about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're in Canada.
I think so.
Anyways, yeah, no, I've been to a Denny's. Beyond that, I'm kind of sitting here twiddling my thumbs.
Why would you be at a
No.
Denny's?
Pardon me?
Well, why would you be at a Denny's to record a podcast?
No. Besides having been to one, I've never been to a IHOP or a Waffle House.
Long Island
So I can't
finally got
compare the
its
two.
first Denny's like 6 years ago.
Denny's is that place where if you're drunk, you go to at 2 a.m. and they serve you anyways. Like, it's one of those places where, you know how your brain occasionally goes freaked out when you go into some places, like a school at night or like an empty freeway, and your brain goes, this is wrong. Yeah, that. It's like that. It's a space and time where it just seems to be off. That's right. This
That's
week on
Denny's?
Where We're Going. Yeah, pretty much. No, it's Denny's at 2 a.m.
Okay, yeah. No, Denny's at 2 a.m. is for the truly discerning drunk.
Oh, yeah.
The man of taste and means.
Denny's, for our international viewers, is like getting there's a point to this, like meat from a street cart. That's the equivalent when you're really drunk and you get a slab of one of the guys that hero vendors like that. It's like that for Americans when they're drunk. Deal with it.
I can see that.
Fair enough.
So on the day, did the Mets win? I forget.
The Mets did win.
All right. How did Adrian Gonzalez do?
Adrian Gonzalez, from what I saw, actually didn't do bad. I had the game on the background, so I didn't see every at bat, but he had a really nice double out to right field, which I was surprised he was able to leg out a double.
Yeah, that man's a diesel tanker.
That just shows how it went off the wall, and it was like one of those balls that was a literal triple for anyone else.
It's a inside the park home run for Byron Buxton.
Yeah.
That's.
By the way, did you see the inside the park home run from the Red Sox game today?
I still don't know who hit it. I just know it happened.
It was
that new guy.
Nunez.
Okay.
Yeah, he hit it in the second inning. It was like a simple blooper to left field, and
Bloop.
Both Rays players dove for it.
Do they slam into each other?
No, they just both missed it.
Missed? Great. Fantastic. That's the Rays in a nutshell. Like, you guys remember the first game of the season last year in football season when, there's a reason to this. People will know what I'm talking about. And the Browns are going to, like, their first punt, and they botch the punt, and it gets taken into their end zone for a touchdown. And we were like, yep, that's the Browns. Welcome to the 2018 Rays.
The Mets scored their first run of the season off of a throwing error, which I thought was the most Mets way to score our first run ever.
We scored our first run off of a Freddie Galvis single to right on a throw that I could have probably beat out. With the jump that Matt Caesar had, I could have beaten that damn throw. And
Did you guys see Hap's home run?
No, because I was getting a drink. Like, I didn't realize that he was going to swing at the first pitch of the ball game. But then again, you should always swing at the first pitch every opening day because chances are it's a meatball right down the middle.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, segue to Padres. When SunTrust opened, the first pitch of the game was to Manuel Margot, and he took the biggest swing he could trying to hit it because he knew it was going to be down the middle. You know these things happen. Like, it's obvious that it's going to happen. Opening day. Good luck, Marlins. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, the Marlins had a leadoff home run. They had a bases-loaded walk. It was just... their pitcher hit 3 batters in the first inning.
Oh, man. I was sitting there and watching John Lester. Sorry, not John Lackey. Different people. Sorry. Yeah. John Lester get in the box, and the commentators are like, Lester, you need to be further back in that box. You need to not be towards the plate. Because they didn't want him to get hit with a pitch.
Yes. Lester mercifully ended that inning by just being Lester.
By being John Lester. Like, you actually...
I actually didn't see it, but it looks like he didn't make it far. Like, just over 3 innings pitched.
Neither pitcher made it far.
Yeah.
Who won that game?
The Cubs.
Nobody won that game. That's the answer. Nobody won that game.
Lester went 3 1/3, giving up 7 hits and 4 runs, 3 of which were earned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To put it in perspective, the Miami starter went farther in the game.
Jesus Christ.
And they were warming up people in the bullpen in the first inning.
Mm-hmm. And then, obviously, because I tout our freaking franchise the most, the Padres, their new ace, that's right, for some reason he's an ace now, Clayton Richard went 7 strong innings, only giving up 1 run because our left fielder didn't charge the damn ball like he should have. And then we tied it up in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. and then we went 3 more innings, and then they scored a run, and we couldn't answer.
Yeah, luckily for us, Syndergaard went 6 innings.
Oh, Syndergaard's alive.
He struck out 10 and he didn't blow out his arm, so I consider this a good day.
Yeah, he struck out 10, and he was able to walk off the mound under his own power.
Correct.
Which is pretty good. So, who's excited for day 2? The Tony Gwynn opener.
Is it really?
It's you may have never heard the phrase, but the phrase about opening day is great, but the real fans show up on day 2. That's a quote by one of the greatest hitters of all time, Tony Gwynn.
The great Tony Gwynn.
Mm-hmm. Padres legend, because he didn't play for anybody else.
Luckily for me, the Mets' second game is on Saturday instead of tomorrow.
Ouch.
So I hopefully won't be at work and can watch it.
It was quite actually funny because Hoffman threw out the first pitch, and it was the Brewers and the Padres there. Think about that for a second.
That's awesome.
Trevor Hoffman, Padres legend, and we don't really talk about the time he was on the Brewers.
Absolutely not.
We don't talk about that. No reason to talk about it, really.
Absolutely.
Corey Knebel. Freaking blown save first day of the year. Alright, I could keep talking about real world baseball for hours, but do you guys have any more topics that you'd like to discuss about fake baseball? I mean, there's plenty of topics you could think of.
Sorry, you cut up there.
Do you guys have anything else you'd like to talk about fake baseball wise?
Sorry, go ahead, Caleb.
I just hope that our second game against the Diamondbacks in session 15 is as good as this one ended up being. Because as much as I had several hard attacks, as much as we lost, it was really, really exciting.
You hope it's the same excitement. You hope it's not the same result.
Yeah, better outcome, same excitement.
I hope for a better result, but I hope for the same level of excitement.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, it was a fun game. And you know what? I've been pulling for Maddie Lynn, so it was cool to see her get her first extra base hit. And
not so cool that it was against us.
It was a tough ending for sure, but it was a fun game. And hanging out in Discord was cool, so it was a good one.
And I think the thing that I respect from Doc is me and Doc talked a lot of crap at some points on Discord, and there was no, at least towards me, gloating in any way that they won that game. It was just hey, it was fun.
That was because Doc was fucking terrified they were gonna lose it. Like up until the end, they were Doc was convinced they were losing.
Yeah, shout out to Doc for not being an asshole about winning that game.
And I'll take that right back because he was an asshole at the beginning of the game.
If he was an asshole and I missed it, I retract.
No, because he talked to me about it. It was just between us. Whatever.
I think everyone's excused for being an asshole to Preller, though. Like, everyone gets a wide berth when it comes to being an asshole to Preller.
I don't really think you should freaking advertise that because I have to deal with these people enough. And giving them a pass is not going to help.
It's one of the eternal truths of MLR.
Well, no, there's other people to make fun of, just they don't like the fact that I am a heavy, heavy homer when it comes to my team.
True enough.
Handily homer, because you know why? Why the hell wouldn't I be?
There you go, go Dads. It's time for one last plug for Forehead for All-Star Game, PS.
Oh yeah, Forehead Jones for All-Star Game. And I will finish this with a bit of a statement that you guys can comment on right as we exit out. People often say, why are you saying that your team's going to win the World Series? They've got no chance of this, that, and the other. Well, what the fuck else do you want me to say? What else do you want me to say? Do you want me to say, yeah, I'm content finishing last place in the NL West? No. I want my team to be the best team. That's the point. That's the point of being a fan. So to say that your team has no chance to shut up is kind of counterproductive. right?
Yeah, I'll definitely go with that. I mean, if you look at like San Diego, like the Padres are doing so much better, I think, than our record shows, and the team's getting way better. And I mean, we were just walking through everyone's averages and OBP. Like, it's a decent team, and we've lost some tough games. Like, I don't know. I think by the end of the season, we're gonna have surprised some people for sure in terms of how solid overall the Padres are.
So, to be fair, we started off the season with what was essentially charted as one of the harder tasks to navigate through. Getting through the Phillies, the Pirates, the Dodgers, and then one more team that actually looked to have some quite, power to them. As I frantically go see who we played in Game 4.
I mean, we've
Colorado.
had five one-run games in 8 sessions.
Right. Like, we played Colorado, and somehow we still ended up 2-2 after leaving the first 4 sessions, which were difficult. However, I would have charted how we'd gotten those 2 wins a little differently, but whatever. So, to say that this shouldn't have been, possible, I don't think so. I think that we always end up with teams that are hitting their stride. And you know what? Deal with it. We're going to keep coming back. We're here to play. You got to finish the season out. It ain't over. It's not even halfway over yet. We got more time.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
There's 10 sessions left. We got plenty.
There's 10 sessions left. And let me make this very damn well clear. You can count us out, but we will be the goddamn cockroaches of the MLR if we've got to, because you can't get rid of us. There's nothing you can do. We're going to come back, we're going to play the game, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to make this a fucking difficult task for every single one of you, and I hope you understand that.
That's the steely-eyed determination that earned him the nickname the Preller Bomber.
Oh my god.
And we start next week with Gerzone.
We start in 4 days with Gerzone.
It's our turn to hit our stride against Gerzone.
Dan Gerzone is going to get lit up. I'm saying it now.
Hot takes. And they might be actually reasonable takes, unlike another show, which is not recorded on Wednesdays. I'm saying that because I don't want, when I call you out, I want to be sure you know whether or not it's me calling you out. And in this case, I'm not calling out Pops and Pie. Not this week.
There's a lot of shade being thrown out right now.
I have to. It's called stand, But do you guys have any closing remarks, closing comments, closing concerns, more C alliteration words that I can keep saying?
Caleb, I'll defer to you.
No, I just forehead for All-Star game. I just want to make sure everyone knows that Forehead Jones is going to this All-Star game.
Yeah, I'll second that. I'll absolutely second that. I think Forehead Jones is a lock at first base, at least in my heart. And tonight we're flying the W at the Dickerson household, so it's a good day.